And this is caught. Touchdown.
What up, good people? It's your man, Mr. Unleashed. Thanks for clicking on the video. So in this video, I wanted to hit on 5 things that I feel like every player should know before playing Madden against an opponent. You don't want to go out there and not know what you're doing. You want to know something that your adversary do not. Because let's face it, not everybody going into detail about Madden and playing and become the best player. So Mr. Unleashed is here to help you out on those categories. Remember to hit that subscribe button and welcome to Mr. Unleashed World. The first thing that will introduce to Madden that's new is the game plan option. So in game plan, you use this to set up the preset of offenses and defensive plays. This is set for the quarterback and the running backs. So maybe you come up against the Packers and Aaron Rodgers is throwing the ball deep. There's game plans for that. Or maybe you got a running back who can juke or just break out to the outside pretty fast. There's a game plan for that. So when picking these game plans, it's very crucial. You want to make sure that you're picking it for the right team. And don't worry, these game plans you do not have to use if you don't want to. You can actually go to your formation and pick out of that. But if you do decide to use them, you want to use them at the right time. And let's say that you don't want to use those plays anymore, or you want to change your game plan because you've seen what your opponent like doing. You can do that at halftime. You do not have to keep the same game plan forever. But keep in mind, at the beginning, before you play your game, and at halftime, there is a time limit. So far, I think this time limit is based on how fast your other opponent picked your play. But I also think there's a time limit of 20 seconds. I'm not sure. You do have the option to change that at halftime. I find this feature very helpful because one of the biggest plays that everybody picking these days is inside zone. Inside zone is back in Madden, and it is broken. You can break out some pretty good games in Madden off of inside zone. So therefore, there's a game plan for that. And I found out that if you defend the inside zone, that stops a lot of players. I also found that defending deep pass is great as well because you know when somebody's about to throw it deep. They choose gun, tight end flex, or they choose no people in the background. You know they're gonna throw it deep. So defending deep pass is good for that. But again, this is per team. So don't be quick to just choose anything if you don't know who you're playing against. Now, Madden 21, juking was a big thing. You could juke somebody out of their socks. I mean, it was easy. Juke, juke, juke. Especially when you have somebody like Dalvin Cook. Juke, juke, juke. But now, Madden has switched it up. The juke sucks. They do this little move over, like they trying to do the electric slide. It's terrible. The spin move is better. You can double spin. They brought that back. It's very effective. But there is a timing to it, which I'm still trying to get down. The other thing is, stiff arm. Stiff arm works a little bit if you got a person who's a superstar and that's one of their big things. Trucking works too. You might want to truck with, of course, somebody who's a superstar or when you're going against smaller players. They made Madden very realistic. So those key things are good to know. Just remember, juking sucks in this Madden. You have momentum factor on offense and you have on defense. Each team have a preset momentum factor that the whole team automatically gets. But as you build up your momentum, different factors that come into play. So, that being said, let's start on the offense momentum. It is important to build momentum against a team because let's face it, momentum a team get in real life is hard to stop them. I believe this is great that Madden added this in because now it makes people revert to playing actually more realistic strategic football. Keep that in mind when you're playing against your opponent and you're on offense because the more positive plays you make, the harder it is going to be for the team to stop you. Second thing I want you to know about offense and be aware of is quarterback speed. Now, these quarterbacks in Madden 22 have gotten faster. In Madden 21, if your quarterback wasn't a superstar attribute for speed or juking, it was damn near impossible to really get out and make a break for a 10-yard gain unless you had someone like Lamar Jackson. But in Madden 22, you can get a good, decent gain with any quarterback with speeds of 80 or higher. They run at a really good pace, and a lot of people are using play action going the opposite direction to make a break to the outside and get gains as well. So keep that in mind. Inside zone, like I mentioned in game plan, it's OP in Madden 22 this year. It's almost pretty broken. I hate running inside zone, but I know it would give me yards. I hate defending inside zone because it's hard to defend. But that's why game plan is there for. Inside zone is OP this year. And I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be for the whole Madden season, unless it's a patch that come out. But it's part of the game. And there's ways to defend inside zone. You just gotta know when it's coming. But just like there's offense momentum, there's also defense momentum as well. On defense, it's the opposite for whatever the home team is. So if you're on defense, the offensive team play art is distorted. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will put a picture up. It's pretty interesting. And that why momentum is a big thing this year in Madden 22. On top of momentum, there has been some things on defense that has changed. Just like going one-on-one against a receiver in the open field. Usually, it's easy to intercept the ball. Unless you just that good at Madden and know how to intercept the ball, it's not going to be as easy as it was in the previous Madden. They suggest that you do a lot of swatting the ball rather than going for the interception. Again, this is per player. We don't know what your skill level is. If you're a beginner, I suggest swatting the ball to begin with until you learn how the game plays and how the game moves and the route and the angles to take. I'll suggest swatting the ball and then move on to intercepting the ball. But you guys are in luck because defensive line users, how much I do not like you guys, they have gave y'all a big advantage because your superstar trait for people like J.J. Watt or DeForest Buckner, you actually got ways to get around the offensive line pretty fast. This happened to me a lot and it's very annoying. Now, I'm pretty sure they're going to end up fixing that part on the defensive side. Keep in mind, the quarterback contained play art do not show up all the time. I have seen my defenders run the quarterback contained. I have caught my fair share of quarterbacks trying to escape the pocket, but it do not work as good, and the play art do not show up. If a player run play action and you see him sliding to the right, the opposite of where the player is going, there's a pretty good chance that he is about to make a break for at least 10 yards. The last thing I wanted to talk about in my video is about special teams. Yes, special teams is old news. I mean, you kick the ball, most of the time you got to kneel in the end zone, or you kick the ball for a field goal. It is what it is. But in Madden 22, momentum is everything. So when you kick the ball, that gives you a little momentum going into the second half. That gives you a little bit momentum going to their possession because it builds over time. So when it comes to special teams and you want to go for that little extra yard, remember your momentum because you probably could just put yourself at your final momentum stage and there's no way your opponent can come back. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something in this video. Please leave a like or a comment or even subscribe to your boy Mr. Unleashed. I will be giving more tips on Madden as the game develops. Thanks for your time. Thanks for chilling with your boy. Welcome to Mr. Unleashed World.